Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got game 1 of a best of 3. It is between ESC's GoOdy, who is the purple Terran player in the lower left position. He's up against ATN's DarKFoRcE, the blue Zerg, in the top right. That means we've got a TvZ Zerg v Terran, and well, being game 1 of a best of 3, this is a very psychologically important map because whoever wins this one goes into the next game in a very dominant position. Now, obviously let's talk a little bit about the map. We are of course on Daybreak. It's GSL version. We've got the supply depot down there. What does that mean for how we should see things play out? Well, I reckon let's look from GoOdy's point of view. Firstly, we're going to have either a 1-max command center or a command center first build. I put money on it purely because it's just so safe to get this down now. Obviously, it also puts a lot of pressure on the Zerg, who'll go for a 15 hatch, usually into a 16 pool, to say, hey, you're on equal bases with me. You've either got to take this third relatively quickly or put on some pressure. Neither of which is a particularly fun option. Then obviously there's some various other things we can see going in. Obviously GoOdy will be looking for things such as reactor Hellions, maybe some Banshee in there as well. Banshee quite effective on Daybreak just due to this dead space behind. You can come in, do a little bit of harassment on the drone lines and the Hellions in the front, and just kind of mess around that way. DarKFoRcE, obviously his long strategy is going to be pretty much Zergling, Baneling, Infester into probably Ultras or Broodlords. Ultras getting a lot more popular. Now we do have a Proxy barracks down here already for GoOdy. This won't get scouted. There's no reason for an Overlord to come over in this position of the map at all. So this could take DarKFoRcE by a little bit of surprise, which would be very, very annoying. We've of course got the drone here trucking down that hatchery at 15. Looking around, there's still nothing else going to go on. Are we going to see anything else? Obviously, if the Overlord does come over here, it will see that the second supply depot is there and might cause questions to be asked on DarKFoRcE's side of, hey, what's going on? There's something hidden. Now, the thing is, this is only just a single Proxy barracks, so nothing too terrible in terms of the damage output it's going to have. It's not like a Proxy 2 racks 11-11 or anything like that. We do have the spawning pool coming out for DarKFoRcE as well. He should be in an okay position to defend this, assuming he spots the bunker that'll inevitably come down from that SCV. But actually at the moment there's no vision around here at all in the slightest, so wait and see how this is going to go down. That bunker in a good position, defended by obviously the wall and that Vespian geyser, so Zerglings will have a tough time dealing with it. And at the moment it's not going to get scouted. Will that drone come over and see it? No, the drone does not see that bunker. That could be the problem, but it is going to spot the Marines. But the bunker, of course, is going to be in a nice position already done. So by the time that drone comes back, and of course with the SCV being brought over, it should send out warning signals to DarKFoRcE that, hang on, something is not quite right here. But already we see that bunker is about to finish up, and this is really where the problems come. All the drones getting pulled. This is precisely what you need to do, but the bunker finishes. And now there is, of course, a lot of problems for our Zerg buddy, and what he's going to do, a second bunker getting chucked down here as well. Obviously, with that second bunker being supported by the first one, it'll be very difficult to take down. Those Marines moving forward to pick off the Spine Crawler. The Spine Crawler, a good way to try and deal with the bunkers, assuming you can get it down. But obviously, the first Zerglings there on their way out. And are the Zerglings even going to do anything? The answer is no. They may just go for a complete counterattack, pulling back now around though, trying to pick off as many of these Marines as possible. But now that second bunker is near completion with the two SCVs there, this is going to be very, very difficult to deal with. And it looks like a counterattack is the only option available to DarKFoRcE at the moment. The first Queen about to come out, but of course both these bunkers in range of that natural hatchery, and if that were to fall, it'd be absolutely terrible times. You do have a command center coming down here from GoOdy. He's getting the 2 gas up, he's moving that barracks back, so he's got enough Marines, he's done the aggression that he wanted, and is now just simply gonna go down and see what damage, well, where he can escalate on forward to. Now, obviously that Spine Crawler can start chipping away at everything. The Zerglings coming in. This is a big push by DarKFoRcE trying to clear out these bunkers. The SCVs are repairing. They are getting focused down though. First bunker should fall shortly, but of course the second one's still there. This is going to be very cost ineffective for DarKFoRcE right now, but of course that Spine Crawler is able to pick off that bunker with the increased range, and really just a case of will the hatchery go down before anything else. But even if the hatchery doesn't fall, you've got to remember that obviously a lot of Zerglings have been forced. That's not drones. Therefore, GoOdy has done good economical damage, even if it doesn't seem like huge amounts have been killed. I mean, if we look at the loss tab, it might seem pretty similar, but the work account is really where the difference is starting to show. 21-17. Of course, this hatchery is getting very dangerous, close to dying. Should get cleaned up fairly easily now. The Marines in the most cost-effective position they could possibly hope to be. And finally we see that all cleaned up. Meanwhile, a counter-attack coming in here. There's just one brave marine there. And the Zerglings, though, they're not going to be able to get through and punch through that hole. We do have the reactor coming down now. We've got a third command center on the way here for GoOdy as well. So he's really going macro mode behind this. So to be honest, that's going to put GoOdy in a very, very nice spot mid-game. His work count is going to stay really quite high. He's got that second mule in now. He's producing 2 SCVs at a time. He's getting the starport. So not only is this going to be Hellions, there is almost certainly going to be some Banshee as well. And once you start chucking those Banshee in, it becomes very, very awkward for a Zerg player to deal with. The Hellions alone, lots of Zerg are very comfortable with those now. Once you chuck in the Banshee as well, coming in the back, Zerg players get confused. What do I do with my queens? They can panic, and generally a lot of damage can be done. I personally don't think GoOdy will go for Cloak, just because it'll be so late timing. Now, just checking around here, obviously we do see the Zerglings poking and prodding around, seeing what is really going on, make sure there's nothing else unexpected about to hit. We do have the first 2 Hellions coming down, checking for any Zerglings that there may be. We've got the switch coming off here now on the starport. We'll wait to see if Cloak is done. As I said, I don't think it will be. Meanwhile, we've got another orbital command moving down, so 3 orbital commands right now on the field. That is really, really nice for GoOdy. DarKFoRcE trying to take his 3rd base. Are we going to see any pressure done? Obviously, the 2 Hellions on their way in. We do have a queen there specifically for spreading creep, something I think is very, very worthwhile. The first gas only now being taken by DarKFoRcE, all 4 at once. Looking here, we've got the Zerglings poking and prodding around. We've got a bit of a wall off being formed, and just taking a look, obviously no tech, no cloak from the tech lab, but we do have the Banshee getting spotted by that Overlord. A great timing on the suiciding the Overlord there. So good work by DarKFoRcE, knows exactly what he needs to do. Looking around, he's also got good Overlord placement everywhere else. We've got the 3rd and 4th gas coming down for GoOdy. He's just really in quite a comfortable spot, I'd say. He's up to, well, not too far behind the work account. Manufacturing mules, that's really puts him probably ahead in terms of the mineral income. Looking here as well at the 3rd base, that's not going to get taken down most likely by Hellions alone. The Queen's coming over, but the creep spread getting denied for a little while, and the Hellions actually doing pretty good damage. One does fall, Transfuse goes off just in time, so really, really good play there by DarKFoRcE. Banshee has now joined the mix though, and of course Banshee does need to be careful with the Queen there. Spore Crawlers are getting shut down. Obviously the Banshee does have good damage potential, but the Queens, if they focus it, it will die very, very quickly. Got more Banshee in production though. Looking around the map, we do have more factories coming in, suggesting a mech style play out of GoOdy. And to be honest, I think mech is very, very strong indeed. The Hellions have managed to break into the main base. They are getting quite a few drone kills right now. The Zerglings are trying to stream in, but there's so many Hellions there, quite a few can actually die. And the drones are getting pulled. They are all lining up. Will the Hellions manage to take advantage of that? And at the moment, it looks like huge damage getting done absolutely everywhere. And GoOdy is really dominating in this matchup for the moment. Those 2 Hellions are probably going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile, we've got more Hellions and the Banshee down at the 3rd base. Those Hellions are not done yet, though. 21 workers killed by GoOdy. This is absolutely amazing play so far. And if we look at the work account, GoOdy now at 47 SCVs to the 34 drones of DarKFoRcE. That is not a pretty picture for any Zergs out there. You will know that is really not the best place to be. We do have some engineering bases getting shut down, and now a 4th orbital command center in production from GoOdy. He is seriously in macro mode right now. And just taking a look around, obviously we do still have these Queens battling the Hellions. They do come out on top. We do have the single Banshee trying to do some damage. Needs to be careful though, because Queens do have good damage output, but the Banshee should just win that engagement. And of course there was no spore crawlers up here. The other Queen is on its way for the moment, but still this Banshee should get a couple more drone kills. Doesn't unfortunately get that many. If we take a look here, 25 workers killed by DarKFoRcE, and he is by GoOdy rather, and he's still significantly ahead of DarKFoRcE in terms of the work account. And with this 4th command center, he is going to absolutely start dominating, getting siege mode out, getting quite a few tanks, getting up another factory, another 2 factories. So he is really going to be in a good spot. DarKFoRcE getting that Spire out. Where is it? There we go. That obviously will allow Mutalisk tech to come out. The 1-1 upgrade's about to finish up. Upgrade-wise for GoOdy, he's getting out the, obviously, Blue Flame upgrade for the Hellions. And, well, he's also getting the +1 vehicle weapon. So not huge, not double upgrades like his opponent. He's about to finish that 4th command center, though. The tank production really starting to ramp up. If you get lots of tanks, you need to really steer clear of the Roach Warren, the Roaches the DarKFoRcE is going for now. And start thinking, hey, what are my other options? The center base being taken a good move because it allows you to place all of your tanks in this sort of vicinity, defending both your natural and your third base. So this is just really impressive play by GoOdy. He's taking quite a good supply lead already. He's getting up 2 Thors. The Muters are on their way for DarKFoRcE, but if we look here at the missile turret placement, they're not going to have a fun time. There's a couple of Marines there. A 5th command center in production now for GoOdy. This is absolutely insane. The center base is going to be a planetary fortress almost certainly. There we go, so it starts morphing in. Now, obviously the first Raven on its way out as well, the best way to deal with Zerg late game, and everything really going how GoOdy wanted to. I mean, he's taking a dominating supply lead, he's really expanding well against his opponent. DarKFoRcE being forced to take this 4th base, which will of course be a little bit vulnerable. Muters are on their way over, but with the Thors there, with the missile turrets, they're not going to have a fun time, especially in such low numbers. Are there any Marines up here? Well, for the moment it doesn't look like it. One Muter, very, very low health. Are they going to go over the Thor? The answer is almost certainly yes. The second Thor is nowhere to be seen, but obviously the Thor production really ramping up, so tank count is quite low for the moment, which means that if I was DarKFoRcE, I would definitely be wanting to go really quite roach heavy, and he's already doing that. Mass roach is the best way to deal with Thors in the game at the moment, so obviously that is the strategy. You want to see the infestation pick coming down. In this, against the mech army, I think it's highly, highly important to get out of that neural power site upgrade. It allows you to take control of Thors and tanks, and really can be a good time. Those 2 Zerglings bravely trying to do some damage, but unfortunately the Blue Flame Hellions will completely destroy them now. I'm just taking a look around here. Obviously GoOdy is still in a great spot. The work account, GoOdy is still ahead of his opponent in the work account, not even factoring in those magical things called mules. This 4th base seems to be the target of the attack, and well, GoOdy has a very, very sizable force. He's a very long way ahead in terms of the supply itself. If we look at the army supply difference, GoOdy with almost double the army supply of DarKFoRcE, which as a Zerg player you never want to be behind in terms of the army supply. Missile turret coming down there. Looks like the Zerglings and Roaches are not interested in that. They're going straight for the natural, and there's actually quite a sizable force coming in here. Some tanks and Hellions on their way back, but quite a few SCVs will probably get picked off, I have no doubt. The 4th base under complete siege though, that is going to get taken down. There's nothing really in terms of defense there. The Thor slowly chipping away at those Roaches. The supply depot does fall though, allowing them into the main base, and of course this is where damage can be done. But looking here, GoOdy is charging over with the majority of his army. We do have more units getting in here. Obviously that tank sieged up, the Roaches need to focus that down. Do manage to take it out relatively quickly, and well, GoOdy is looking to be cleaning this up quite nicely. He's got those tanks there, and there's the GG from DarKFoRcE. So guys, that was game 1 of this best of 3, and it goes to GoOdy with really solid play all the way through. So see you at game 2 any second. Flick over to my channel, you'll be able to find it there. Bye for now.